Hello everyone. My research topic for the class is on the Orthodox Christian Church in the United States. One of the sources that I've chosen for this is Aram G. Sarkisian's 2022 submission to the Journal of American Ethnic History called Their Daily Dread: Russian Orthodox Christians in Red Scare Detroit, 1918 through 1920. Now, my particular interest in history is in the World War I era, so this stuck out to me, but it also stuck out to me personally because my father's side of the family escaped to the Soviet Union and came to the United States when he was just 7 years old. So in this article, Sarkisian relies a lot on primary sources, including archived files from the Bureau of Investigation, which is the FBI's predecessor, along with immigrant community newspapers and church records. He also strongly showcases the immigrant life in the Russian Orthodox community, including how many of these people were employed as industrial laborers in Detroit, as well as the ideological diversity within the community. So because this was taking place around the time of the Russian Revolution and Civil War, there were a lot of people in America who thought of the community as monolithic, but Sarkisian shows that was not the case. So there was an idea among some in America who were very paranoid about the spread of Bolshevism that to be Russian, or actually even to be Russian Orthodox, was equivalent to being a Bolshevik. Now, there were some people who sympathized with the communists in the Russian Revolution who were present within these communities and churches, or at least, even if they didn't identify as communists, felt some sympathy towards elements of the revolutionaries. But there were also people who were loyal to the Tsar, or at least sympathetic to the Tsar, I should say, while there are also others who advocated for some different form of government, at least some reform of the current regime without spreading into communism. So Sarkisian did a great job showcasing the ideological debates and diversity within the Russian Orthodox community. Something else that he did really well was discussing how church and ideological or even personal feuds within the community led, in some cases, for people within the community to rat out their neighbors, whether they actually were Bolsheviks or communists, or if they falsely labeled them that way that led to these raids out of some other grievance. So this was something that I think is very interesting to note. Sarkisian could have done a better job to highlight the anxieties of large swathes of the American public during this period of time. It was touched up on, for example, the Russian Orthodox Church not really being that familiar amongst the American public, the Russian language and the Cyrillic script being very foreign, which heightened the anxiety among some, but that wasn't really the focus of his paper. His focus was more, of course, on what was happening in Detroit during this particular time period and the life of the community. So some weaknesses here in his paper, in his submission, are that the writing is more academic and some would say perhaps dry, which means the larger public may find it a little bit difficult to comprehend or otherwise not very useful. For the purposes of my paper, it's very useful to showcase one specific aspect of one specific community that followed the Orthodox Church in the United States at a time when doing so was perhaps less than comfortable, to put it mildly. But the paper does a fantastic job of utilizing primary sources and also showcasing a particular unique and narrow scope of what was going on in the community, even if it's not a broader commentary on the Eastern Orthodox Church within the United States. Therefore, I've decided to include it amongst my sources for the broader research paper. Thank you.